अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So today will be our last class on sequence bound modification, and I had given you question number 18, page 115 as a homework. Hope you have all read it. So the question itself is so big. We have to first understand the question, and if you read the question, they say that if we accept this principle of sequence bound modification, then whatever the disaster has to happen, that will happen. There will be no way that we can avoid that disaster. And in that case, there will be an atmosphere of fear among all the people of this universe. This is the first part of the question. The second part is about the hope. Okay. So if we accept this concept of sequence bound modification, then whatever effort that we do intentionally may not be successful, but hope of possibility of success continues, and atmosphere of disappointment does not overpower us. So again, if we accept this principle, then this we cannot overpower this disappointment. So even if we don't accept this principle, but if we don't accept this principle of everything definite, that is sequence bound modification, then even our effort may not be successful, but because of hope, we still continue and the negativity does not overpower us. That is the second part of the question. Then elaborating on hope, further it is said in the question that life depends on hope. The whole world is astir with hope. If there is no hope, it would be difficult to live in this world, and there would be no zeal, that is enthusiasm, in all the efforts made for success. Then in the question itself, there is an example of bird. A bird collects straw and with great efforts makes a nest. However, if it is somehow or the other destroyed, it again starts its effort to construct it. The only basis for its effort is hope. Hope that he will make one nest one day and her kids would be safely, or her kids would be safe in that place. So they again here the basis of the effort is hope. A man who has lost hope can accomplish nothing important in life because his mental strength, that is the confidence, the willpower, is shattered. If mental strength is broken, all is lost because success can be had only with a hope for success. Therefore, be it so that all modifications are sequence bound, even then, to avoid the atmosphere of disappointment and to have a stream of hope in our hearts, it is better not to accept the principle of sequence bound modification. So here the question ends, and you can make out from the question that the author is trying to convince us that this principles of sequence bound modification, if it is accepted, we will be in more problem, or more trouble. So it is better not to accept this principle and leave life as it is going. Now, regarding the answer to it, says, the author himself says, the true understanding of the nature of things cannot constitute an atmosphere of dejection or fear. Okay? When we have a correct understanding of the nature of things, our tension, depression, worries all disappear. There is no fear at all. That is the outcome of understanding this principle of sequence bound modification. Such an atmosphere is based on ignorance and passion. So fear is based out of ignorance and passion. Recently, I was just listening to an example from a scholar that he said that when I bought a mobile phone the first time, and my kids were playing with it, and suddenly there was some dirt on the mobile phone, and they took it to the basin and they were washing that mobile phone. And seeing them, I was worried. Oh, what they have done with the mobile. And then I took out the literature, and I saw in the literature that comes along with the mobile phone that this mobile is waterproof. The same moment I was relaxed. No worries now. Similarly, like all our worries is because of ignorance and passion. Okay. Fear itself is a passion. It is included, it is one of those 25 passions. Okay. So there are 9 quasi passions: hasya, rati, arati, sok, bhay. Bhay is fear. So it is a part of that 9 quasi passions. Okay. Buddhjan, a poet of spiritualism, asserts, हमको कछु भय ना रे, जान लियो संसार. It's not written here in Hindi, but in the Hindi text, it is written. Just a minute. I will read the full one. हमको कछु भय ना रे, जान लिया संसार, जाके ही जैसे जाही समय में, जो हो तब जा द्वार, सो बनी है टरी है कछु नाई, nothing can be changed. Kar lino nirdar. I have made a decision on this, and on that basis I am fearless. Humko kachu bhai na re. Now it's written here in Hindi, the meaning, I have no fear since I have known this world. Known this world means how this world functions, how this universe functions, and how each substance in this universe is independent of other substances. Each attribute of a substance is independent of another attribute. And similarly, each modification of each substance is independent of another modification. So this independence nature of this universe, knowing this, I have no fear. I have arrived at definite conclusions. Based on analysis and all, I have arrived at definite conclusions that whatever is destined to happen with whatever assistance in whatever time shall so happen. It cannot be avoided. As such, I have no fear. Here, poet Buddhanji asserts that the foundation of his fearlessness is the principle of sequence-bound modification. He proclaims clearly that he has no fear, for he has known truth about the scheme of things in this world, how each substance independently does its own function without any help from any other substance. So by knowing the true nature of things, of this universe, he has no fear. He has become fearless. What is this true position by knowing which Buddhanji has become fearless? What is the basis of him becoming a fearless? It is this: whatever modification of any substance are destined to happen in whatever time, with whatever means, of whatever qualities, those same modification of the same substance will happen in the same time, with the same instruments and in the same manner. So this again supports the very principle of sequence-bound modification, where we consider all the 5 factors, all the 5 causes, okay, coming together and the action happening. No alteration is possible in them, okay. They cannot be adjusted backward or forward even by a single time unit. He has arrived at this decision and has become fearless on this basis. He has become fearless on the foundation of truth, not on the basis of this myth that some changes may be possible if efforts are made in that direction. So his fearlessness is just because of the truth that principle of sequence bound modification is, okay, and not on basis of some assumptions or myth that some changes may be possible if we make right efforts in the right direction. He was not an ordinary human being moving in the world of imagination. He was sentient, he was Jnani, he was enlightened, he was a learned scholar. He was a sentient soul which had understood the nature of things and had become fearless. So by knowing the true nature of things, one can become fearless. And the principle of sequence-bound modification explains us nothing but the nature of things. The fact is that fearlessness comes out of the basis of truth and not out of imagination. Imagination has no place in the transformation of each substance. Okay. Suppose there are sentient and non-sentient persons sitting somewhere together. Sentient is Jnani and non-sentient is Ajnani. Sentient is enlightened soul and non-sentient is ignorant soul. They are sitting together somewhere. And a bloody man-eater lion comes in front of them. Suddenly, it appears. There is no chance to run away because the speed of the lion, is very much more than the speed of a human being. Okay. And if he runs, he will caught him and eat him. So there is no chance to run away, no remedy to save their lives. Okay. The sentient being on such an occasion shall remain calm and fearless. Page number 117. We are now on to page number 100.
Thank you, Ji. Sorry for the interruption. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so there was no chance to run away and save their lives. The sentient being on such an occasion shall remain calm and fearless on the basis of the above principle. The principle of sequence-bound modification, that whatever has to happen will happen in the right time and with in the same process and same instruments, same manner, everything as predetermined. Okay. So sentient being becomes fearless and calm based on this principle. While on the other hand, the insentient being will be completely dominated by fear and will make hopeless attempts to save himself, but nothing is going to happen. Only that which is destined to happen will happen. So what is going to happen is not in the hands of both the being, whether it is sentient being or a non-sentient being. Nothing is in their hand. Only thing is that just because of the understanding of the principle, the sentient being is calm and fearless, and the non-sentient being is in a worry, fear. Okay. It is just possible both may start remembering God. It is just possible both may start remembering God, may start reciting Namokar mantra, both may appear to be fearless. From the outside, it appears that both are fearless. The onlookers will observe them exactly the same, but their thoughts have a world of difference. Both have a different thought process. Okay. Now, what would be the thought process of insentient being and what would be the thought process of sentient being? That is being explained from the next paragraph. This difference cannot be seen from outside, for the difference lies in the inner selves. Inner selves means their understanding, okay, and their decision-making power. There is the difference, okay. The difference is on the basis of their thinking. The basis of the fearlessness of both is different, okay. So the sentient being is fearless just because he has a true understanding, and he has got true decision making power. On the other hand, the non-sentient being is fearful because he is not aware what is the nature of things. Okay. He has uncertainty in his mind. He has not clarity how the universe operates. Okay. So, because of all these confusions and doubts, he is fearful. Okay. So the difference lies in their thinking process. Okay. And not anything else. Now, the fear of the mindset of the insentient being is explained, and then later on in the next paragraph, not next paragraph, after 3 paragraphs, the sentient being's mindset would be explored. So first we see what is the thought process of insentient being. The insentient with perverted faith. So just because he is insentient, he has got perverted faith, false faith, false belief, thinks that by recitation of Namokar mantra and remembering God, some heavenly being will come and offer him protection. Because he has read such stories in religious texts, Pratman Yog, as revealed that some religious man was in trouble. He remembered Namokar mantra and gods offered him the protection that he needed. So just he has read this, so he is just contemplating that by reciting this Namo Mantra, some heavenly God will come and save him. He is also sitting and pinning his hope on this. Recites the mantra loudly, appears fearlessly outwardly, but internally he is oppressed with fear because his faith is not so strong as to assure him that God would come definitely. Okay. The God did come, and the heavenly God did come and save some sentient being. That's what the story says. But it's not a rule that every time a person coming into trouble will be saved or will be protected by a heavenly being. He is troubled by the thought that somehow the God may not come at all because he's not sure. If he had some other remedy in view, he would definitely not remain idle and risk his life in the hope that Namokar mantra will do the needful. His faith in Namokar mantra is also not strong. It is his helplessness to have faith in it. It is on account of this that he cannot remain fearless. So ultimately, we see that it's just because he's not having the right faith, the right knowledge. Okay. So his knowledge is perturbed, and because of that, he is feeling helpless. Okay. He's not able to accept the facts. Okay, and he is surrounded by all kinds of worry that what will happen, what will happen. Fear is at his highest level in his mind right now. Okay. The narration of the Puranic text that gods have come to offer protection to some religious man who recited Namokar Tantra can be true. There is no need to doubt it. It does not necessarily follow from this as a rule that whenever one is in difficulties and recited Namokar mantra, heavenly beings will come and miracles will happen. It is not a rule. But it happened with someone, so he is having a hope that some will come and protect him. Religious texts describe only the events that had happened. The person referred to understood by his wisdom that such and such results follow such actions. His faith in such belief is also shaky. Had it been unshakable, why would he have been disturbed and oppressed with fear? Okay. So this was all about the non-sentient being or insentient being. Now what the sentient beings thinks? The sentient being also recites Namokar mantra is unperturbed. That fellow was perturbed. Now this is unperturbed. Nirakul. Okay. That fellow was in Akulta and he's here. The sentient being is unperturbed. Means Nirakul. No worries, no tension. But the basis of his peace is not the faith in Namokar mantra by which some heavenly beings will come to protect him. He recites Namokar mantra to save himself from vicious thoughts. Vicious thoughts means cruel thoughts, dangerous thoughts. Okay. And restlessness of mind. Okay. So when you are reciting Namokar mantra, your active consciousness is involved in that recitation. So the restlessness of mind considerably reduces. The basis of his fearlessness is the following line supporting sequence-bound modification. Humko kachu bhai na re, jaan liyo sansar. I have no fear, I have known the world. So we are still continuing with the sentient being's mindset. He means the sentient being does not depend on the hope that some God will save him. He is fearless on the basis that if death is inevitable, nobody can save him. When the time of death arrives, nobody can avoid it. If it has not arrived, nobody can bring it by force. If he has to die by particular means only, nobody can change it. And if he has not to die by that particular means, nobody can kill him. So he was very firm in his faith, and because of that firmness of his faith, he was fearless. Along with the nature of substance, he has very well understood the nature of modification also. Okay. That is what meant by I have known the world. So by saying that I've known the world, he wants to refer to the modification of each kind of substances. He is unperturbed on that basis. He has no desire to change the nature of substances. He also does not want to interfere in the course of modifications. Okay. If some disturbance is visible, it should be thought that it is the weakness of conduct, not a fault of faith. Okay. So faith and conduct are two different attributes. As said now that one attribute is not dependent on other, one attribute does not influence another attribute. So this fellow, the sentient being, has got the right faith. But the conduct will also be according to him. That is not possible. Okay. So he does not want to interfere in the course of modification. If some disturbance is visible, it should be thought that it is the weakness of conduct. Okay. Not a fault of faith, for his faith has become completely pure by relying on the faultless nature of substances. So based on the nature of substances, his faith has become correct. Okay, there is no fault in their faith, but the conduct takes time. So from the point of view of conduct, there is still weakness. Okay, but his faith is perfectly pure and correct. In order to maintain other false hope, now this is the conclusion. So first we saw the mindset of the insentient being, and just now we finished the mindset of the sentient being. Now is the conclusion. In order to maintain other false hope, why do you want to commit the greatest sin of non-acceptance of truth? Non-acceptance of sequence-bound modification. Why you want to commit this greatest sin? It is called a sin. And hope is also an unhappy state. With hope present in the mind, nobody has ever been happy and nobody can ever be. Okay. Moreover, its fulfillment is also not possible. So we just finished reading 4 kinds of desire. Okay. And what is wrong with desire? That time I discussed 3 points. Can anyone remember? Why it is futile to have a desire in the first place? I had given this homework as CC1, 4 kinds of desire. So what were the 3 things that I mentioned about the desire? Why is it futile to have desire or expectation of anything? Can anybody answer?
But I wrote nicely. I could not recollect 4 pillars of that desires you have told.
Oh, 4 kinds of desire. Vishay, Kasai, Pap, Punya.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes.
I'm not discussing that. I am discussing why having a desire is futile.
It is a karan for dukh.
Okay.
It's a low, no, that is the father of the pap, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
So because constantly there is nirakulta going on. When one desire finishes, the other one comes through. And the fulfillment of all desires doesn't happen all at once, and it doesn't happen to the fullest. Right. So I think one was a carnal desire, the other one was because of pap, the rise of pap karma. Like there is a desire to remove the unwanted elements like disease or any sort of unhappiness. And then there was the rise of punya karma. Because of that, favorable conditions arise and the person gets some benefit in their day-to-day life. But then they think that has happened partly, not all of it. Like in one sector of their life, maybe it's like, career, but not home. Maybe it's relationships, but not, wealth acquirement. So just there's constant cycle of desires, which is endless. So that's why the having desires is futile, because only real happiness is something that does not cause anxiety, that does not cause akulta. Sorry, not nirakulta, akulta. Right. So if there is akulta, then that is not true happiness, and that can happen with the other desires. I don't know. I kind of mixed up, but the bottom line is no desires in the relationship.
You are partially right, but the answer is very simple.
Sir, up to 10th Gunastan, this desire will be there, sir. That is the last one which will get rid of in the moksha mark. That is.
So 10th, up to 10th Gunastan,
yeah,
there. That is true. But my question was, what were the three things that I said about desire, which makes it futile? Okay. So the first one was that if one desire is fulfilled, there is another desire. Okay. And that desire is fulfilled, then there is another desire. So there is endless kind of desires. It keeps on happening again and again and again. So this was the first. The second one is mentioned here, that the pit of desire is so big that if we consider all the materials available in this universe, then it will be just an atom in that whole pit. So it goes on to prove that nobody's desire can be fulfilled. Okay. So it's just a wrong thought to get your desires fulfilled in this universe. Okay. So this was,
Even, sir, having desire in moksha marg is also is not like that, no, sir?
yes. The third was that when the desire is there, the object is not there. And when the object has come, the desire has gone. So there is always a mismatch between the desire and object. It is never at the same time, you know. So there is a time lag between the desire and the uh, receipt of the object. So that also makes desire not worth doing. Okay. So these were the three causes. Now I hope everyone remembers it. And this is very important because it has got wide application. The chief cause of our sorrow, misery is desire only. And nature of things tells us that there is no place for desire in the functioning of the universe. Okay. It is our own imagination, and because of our imagination, we are suffering from sorrow in all the four states of existence. Okay. So every now and then this topic of desire will keep on coming in one way or the other way. And you have to remember these three reasons that why it is not possible to fulfill desire. Okay. These three causes you must remember. So Acharya Gunbhadra Swami has gone to the extent by saying that the speed of every creature is so big. So I explained this whole paragraph. Now we come to the conclusion. In the absence of hope, that is desire, there will be non-hope, no desire, not disappointment. Okay. So absence of desire is non-desire. Okay. It is not disappointment, because disappointment and desire are both a kind of misery only. Okay. So but the non-hope that originates in the absence of hope is blissful. Okay. So when you take shelter in your pure soul, you manifest pure modification. And because of that pure modification of passionlessness, the desire does not rise only. The desire does not originate. And that is the way how you can get rid of desire. So for getting rid of desire, you have to be content in your pure soul. And the experience would be blissful. So this is how you get rid of desires. Okay. You said that it would be difficult to live in this world without hope. On this, I say that sentient people only want that it should be difficult for them to stay in this world. So sentient people, they don't want to live in this world. Okay. So because every now and then they have a struggle, because his thinking has changed, his belief has changed. Okay. He cannot think in the same way as the worldly people are thinking, the mundane people are thinking. His thinking has changed. Okay. He views things from the point of view of nature of things. And he sees the independence of substance, independence of attributes, and independence of modification everywhere. And this brings in him a level of, I can say, relaxation. There is no tension, no depression. He is not worried at all because he has realized himself. He has taken the decision on all the 7 fundamentals very correctly. And based on that, has been able to experience himself, and based on that experience, the desire does not originate only, and that is the way how you get rid of desire. When do they want to stay in this world? The sentient beings does not want to stay in this world. They want immediate salvation, okay, liberation. They want to attain moksha by eliminating this world. As such, they like such a state, okay, that there would be no zeal in worldly affairs is a good sign, okay. If you understand this sequence-bound modification, and based on that, if you are able to manifest passionlessness, and based on that, the desire does not rise, okay, then it's a good sign. The result of true faith in sequence-bound modification is that the soul become unenthusiastic in matters of this world. Why it becomes unenthusiastic? Can anyone give a good reason? Why the sentient being has become unenthusiastic in the matters of this world?
Is it because they know that whatever sequence is coming is going to come no matter what, in whatever time it's going to come, which is sequence-bound modification, basically.
Right. So
True
based
belief
on
in
that, based on that, he sees that there is nothing he has to do anywhere. Okay. So he is not interested in any of the matters of the world, because it's an independent transformation that is going on automatically. There is no doer. Okay. And not only the transformation of this universe, but even in his own modification, he cannot change the sequence. He can only know it. Okay. And based on this, he is becoming unenthusiastic in the matters of this world, because matters of this world does not matter to him, because it is not something new happening. It is all happening that is supposed to happen, and there is no change. There is no way that you can change any effect in those. Okay. So based on this faith, on this principle of sequence bound modification, he is unenthusiastic in this matter of this world. So Darshitji told correctly. He should follow the path of soul's salvation with the zeal, with the enthusiasm. That is the true result of faith in sequence-bound modification. If this happens, what is the wrong there? Nothing wrong. If the power of the mind breaks, let it break. Soul force will rise. Okay? If the power of mind breaks, then the soul's inner force, Atma Bal, will rise. Okay. Without the breaking of the power of the mind engaged in worldly affairs, soul force does not originate. Okay. Without the breaking of the power of the mind engaged in worldly affairs, soul force does not originate. Why do you deny the concept of sequence-bound modification due to the fear that some disorder in the world may change the established order? Why this fear? You know, please do not refuse to accept this great truth on account of some fear or possibility of evil. The daughter of the sovereign monarch of this earth has come to wed you. Who is this daughter? Sasikala ji.
true belief,
Huh?
true faith and belief.
Omniscience, omniscience. Keval Gyan Rupi Lakshmi. Mukti Sundri. Mukti Sundri, you know, the daughter of the sovereign monarch of this earth has come to wed you. Do not refuse her. Okay. It is an occasion of great joy. Do not miss it. Otherwise, you will have to repent. Cry a halt to all evil possibilities, and for once accept this sublime truth. After deep contemplation, without deep contemplation, the faith will not rise only. Okay, so to manifest the right faith, you have to do this contemplation, and based on this contemplation, you will arrive at the right decision. We have no selfish motive in pleading this. It is for your own good. It is for your welfare that I am saying this. Such a feeling exists today. If that disappears tomorrow, it is not sure whether somebody will be there to tell you these truths. Okay. So it is best that we accept this principle, we understand this principle of sequence bound modification, and come to a conclusion what the principle is all about, and based on that principle, automatically your life will become blissful. So this was the question that we wanted to discuss. Now the last part of this textbook, last 2-3 pages, there are again some questions from an interview that Bharilji took of Kanji Swamiji. Okay. And the interview was held on 28th April 1979 in Mumbai. Okay. And all the questions raised during that interview has been enumerated here, discussed here. And there is, I think, a video is also available of that particular interview. Okay. I have seen some of the clips of that interview. So I remember quite vividly that there is a video recording of that interview. So if you can get hold of that interview from, I think, vitragvani.com or atmadharm.com, you must see it. Okay. But here we will be discussing just the last part of those questions, which deals with the effort. So page number 134, when the operation from there, next question. Yes. When the operation of all attributes is orderly, where is the need of human effort? Very interesting question. If we consider everything to be predestined, okay, so all the attributes is orderly, where is the need of human effort? Answer: one who does not realize the existence of effort in sequence bound modification will never have orderliness. Okay. So this orderliness will come only to those who realize the existence of effort in sequence bound modification. The principle of sequence bound modification does not advocate absence of human effort. On the contrary, it says that the right effort only originates when you have faith in sequence bound modification. Okay. So that was this question. The next question.
So can I add something to this?
Yeah.
This is my personal experience.
Mhm.
So I was listening to this because I did not attend 1 or 2 lectures of yours last week. So while traveling, I was listening to this, and it happened that there was puja at my mom's place, and my son and my husband, they both said we are not coming.
Mm.
So there was a agitation from my side, that is inside, that they are not coming, they are not coming. But then on my way, when I was listening to this, I was at peace that they are not coming. It had to be that way. So why should I break my head and create a new karma between them, you know, and, be anxious about it that they did not come.
Mm.
So
Right.
it was a very small thing, but these are the small things where we
Ah.
create karmas. We
Yeah,
bind karmas.
yeah, definitely. And on the contrary, you could have enjoyed those moments. Just
Yeah,
accept the truth. Accept the truth.
yeah,
So it would have taken you a fraction of second to accept this thing.
yeah. So this happened. So on
Yeah.
my way, my whole mindset
Ah.
changed, and I was happy.
Right. So see, whatever time you spend with this Jinwani, not only our course, but any Jinwani, if you are spending time with it, if you are understanding it, it's going to help you in every way.
Yeah.
Whatever we understand, whatever we make decisions of, that remains with us. And that we can straightway apply whenever an adverse situations comes in our life.
Yeah.
That is the benefit, and you have rightly pointed out that how you got benefited. So it happens with everyone. Good. So the next question, if he has no faith in orderliness, that kind of faith is also orderly. Okay. Why is not having faith in the orderliness? Why is not having a faith in the predestined sequence of events. Okay. So not having that faith is also orderly. That is what the question is about. It is orderly that he cannot accept orderliness. That way, it is futile to talk about acceptance. Now, this question is a bit challenging to understand. Okay. So first, I hope you have understood the question. That way, it is futile to talk about acceptance. Where does he know? Swamiji, what Swamiji says? Where does he know that the course of his modification is orderly? Because he has not made a decision. If he would have made a decision on his sequence-bound modification, this question would not have arisen, right? This question has just come because of ignorance. He is not well versed with the principle of sequence-bound modification. Okay. So where does he know that the course of his modification is orderly? Whatever has to happen is happening. It is not something coming up automatically, suddenly in between. No, it's not that. Everything is happening orderly. But where does he know this? The omniscient has said that the course of modification is orderly, but he has not even accepted the existence of omniscience. So if he does not believe in the existence of omniscience, how we can believe in the orderly modifications? Okay, so both are interconnected. The omniscience and the sequence-bound modification are both interconnected. So if you want to understand sequence-bound modification, you have to first accept the existence of omniscience. And based on that, you can understand the principle. Let him first establish omniscience in his mind. Then he will know orderliness. So this was the answer by Swamiji. Then the next question. He has no faith. He has faith in the assertion of the sentient being that substances have orderly modifications. Question. No, he does not have real understanding of the omniscient Bhagwan. Okay. Without his understanding, there can be no faith in the orderliness of things. Orderliness of things. It would not do to repeat the sayings of sentient beings. Okay. If you keep on repeating the same words as sentient being says, it's not going to help. You have to analyze the causes, you have to analyze the text, and then you have to ponder over it, you have to contemplate about it, and then you have to arrive at a decision. And that is how the decision stays with you. Okay. But just listening and accepting won't help. You have to examine, you have to analyze, and then only you can accept. Okay. That will be the real acceptance. It would not do to repeat the sayings of sentient beings. First, you have to accept the existence of an omniscient being. Without understanding the nature of substances, you cannot really accept omniscience. Okay. So here again, acceptance of omniscient being is quite necessary to understand the sequence-bound modification. Now the next question we are skipping next to next. It is due to this that people said that there is difference between your speech and deed. Okay. Answer. The nature of things is like that. What can we do? So basically the question was about the faith and conduct. Right? Faith can truly manifest in a second, but the conduct takes times to come, so it does not happen simultaneously. The nature of thing is like that. What can we do? Conduct should also follow faith, sentience, and speech, but it does not do so. Okay. Conduct has its own sequence bound. Okay. And it happens in that way. However, there is no shortcoming in faith. Faith is absolutely correct, but still there are shortcomings in conduct. The difference between speech and action stands. Okay. Whatever we think, we cannot put it in speech, and whatever we put in speech, we cannot put it in action. Everything is independent. Okay. This difference existed in the behavior of persons having perfect faith, like Bharat Chakravarti, Ramchandra ji, okay? All these enlightened soul with right faith, perfect right faith, Shaikh Samyak Darshan, okay? So they also had these differences and it will always exist. The difference between the Darshan Monia Karma and Charitra Monia Karma. Faith deluding karma and conduct deluding karma. There will always be difference. You have to understand this. It is there in the case of all holders of the fourth stage of spiritual development. Okay. What can we do in that? Now the last question. How good if this difference between speech and deed disappears? So Swamiji says it would be the happiest moment when this difference is done away with. I constantly aspire for such a state, but this blemish in conduct continued for 83 lakh purvas in the case of Rishabdev Bhagwan. Okay. So Rishabdev Bhagwan was the first Tirthankar and he was a king and he remained a king for 83 lakh purvas, which is a very long period. Out of his total age of 84 lakh purva, 83 lakh purvas he spent in his kingdom by ruling the kingdom, by taking care of the people of that kingdom. That was his function. Okay. So his faith was quite correct, but the conduct was taking time to come. Okay. And that will always remain with everyone. It is an accepted truth that one attribute does not bring about any blemish in the other attribute. Without this, right faith cannot originate. Okay. There may be blemishes in conduct and vitality, but none in right faith. Okay. So this was the end of this answer. So there will always be, I cannot do as per my wish, I can have some wish, I can have some desires, but the nature of things says that everything is independent. It does not happen according to our desire. So the enlightened souls never desire for anything because they know that having desire is futile. It is not going to happen in that manner. So why have desire in the first place? Okay. So that is what they do. Now, with this, I think whatever I had to teach from sequence-bound modification textbook has been taught. You can revise the second part, which were there are around 20 questions, and then the interview of Swamiji. You can just read at your leisure time. And if you have any doubts, you can revert back to me. Still, we have 20 minutes, so we come to the conclusion of this principle. Okay. So for any action to take place, there are 5 causes and all the 5s are present. Only thing is that when we talk from the perspective of one of the causes. Okay. And at that time, that cause is prominent, but the other 4 causes are still there and they are contributing to the action. Okay. But they are not being discussed now. Okay. First part. The second part is they are just ignored. They have not been eradicated. Okay. So you must remember that the action or the work done is because of 5 samvai. Okay. 5 causes. Now, so this was the one part. The next part is that out of the 5 causes, what you have which is under your control. Okay. So there is only the self-effort that is under our control. All the other 4 causes are beyond our control. So that which is not in our control, we cannot do anything about that. Okay. And that which is under our control, we can think on those lines and we can put a concrete effort in those in that direction to get the desired result. Okay. So we must put in concrete effort, okay, intentionally and then the work will happen unintentionally. Okay, बुद्धि पूर्वक पुरुषार्थ करना चाहिए and कार्य होगा अबुद्धि पूर्वक. Okay, so to the extent that you have that you can recognize what you can do in terms of your effort, you should do. Okay, and rest will happen according to destiny. Okay, so under destiny, the right time will also come. Under destiny, the instrumental calls also comes, and under destiny, the destiny itself is there. Okay, so destiny, the one word used in Hindi is Dev. So in that word of Dev, it is destiny also is there, time is also there, and instrumental cause is also there. Okay, and the effort is what we have to put in, and the nature states that our effort will materialize only in ourselves. We cannot do anything in other substances. Okay, so all the 5 causes are present whenever a work is being done or when an action happens. Only thing is that you have to strike a balance. The statement can be made from any of the 5 causes, but having said that, you have to realize in your knowledge that the action has taken place because of 5 causes and not because of one cause which is being discussed right now. Okay. This is all about sequence bound modification. Now, if you have any questions, doubt, we can take it up. We have still 15 minutes to go.
So you said Adinath Bhagwan had 83 lakh Purva. Matlab, what is the counting? I mean, how do you calculate in years?
So one Purva is, I think, 7 or 8 lakh years approximately. Okay.
Okay.
So 83 lakh Purva. Out of his total age of 84 lakh Purva, 83 lakh Purva is spent by just ruling over the kingdom. And then there was this dance of Nilanjana, and Nilanjana in between died while dancing. And that created a trigger in Adinath Swami, and he left everything and became a monk. And then it took him 1 lakh more Purva to attain liberation.
So 84 lakh into 8 years. 8.
8 lakh, 7 to
Yeah,
8.
8 lakh. So, okay.
Such a long period of time, you know. Anything else?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
There was this discussion today on fear when they were talking about the lion being there, man-eating lion. So when you think about fear in that respect, or maybe not think about it, you become fearless. That's what they were saying. So wouldn't fearlessness also be quite dangerous? Because if you don't have a fear, then you'd start taking unnecessary risks. Because you just said this is going to come my way anyway.
You have to take this question in the sense that they did not intend to do those things. It had happened suddenly, okay, without any expectation. And in that scenario, what with principle of sequence bound modification, what that sentient being will do in that case, that is what being explained by showing both the mindsets, you know, the mindset of a person who knows this principle and the mindset of a person who does not know this principle. Okay, so both will have fear because they are still in that stage of householder. So both will have fear, but the gravity, the magnitude, the level of fear would be different. Okay, So for the sentient being, there will not be any anantanubandhi fear. Okay. But still the other three passions are still present. So to that extent, the fear would be there. And that's why both were reciting Namokar mantra, you know. So at one level, there was fear. At other level, he was fearless. Okay. So when we talk from the point of view of a householder who has just got rid of only Anantanubandhi Kashai, the other three are still present. So he will have fear to that extent. That is a fact. But having said that, just because the first level of fear has gone, Anantanubandhi, it means that majority of the passions has gone. Yeah. Now, whatever is left over is very, very minuscule. No comparison with this. Okay. So it is said that way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Priyanka ji, you must also be having some questions. Anyways, if you find any questions while reading, okay, we can
No
still
questions, sir, today.
discuss next Wednesday, because Monday, Tuesday would be your classes, because Vijal ji wants to take from 7:45 to 8:45. Okay. So I think that was the message in the group just few minutes ago before the class. So you can give your opinion, but any case, if you have any questions, we can take one personally also, or otherwise we can take up in classes also. Okay.
Are we changing the class timing?
Pardon?
We are changing the class timing?
Yeah, like I was supposed to take 2 papers in per sem, right? So I have taken my 2 papers. Now the third paper, which is about Anekant Syadvad and Saptabhangi. Okay.
Saptapangi.
Yeah, these 2 topics, and then there is one more topic, Kal Chakra. These 3 topics, small topics. This Vijal ji will take, and so she has, I think I just checked the message just before the class. You can just check the message and you can accordingly respond what are your choices, you know. She has been taking classes since last 2 sem. So usually what time she takes? So Zoom availability is on Monday and Tuesday at that time. So you have to confirm if this works. So I think 2 people have agreed. Yeah. So everyone should give their opinion whether they are, and the majority wins, you know. So this is for this paper only. Then next again, when I come back for the 5th sem, we will have again classes, regular classes at 8:45 to 10. Okay. And that will be somewhere in the 3rd week of Jan. Okay. So till that time, you prepare for yourself for the exams, you complete your assignments. Vijal ji will give you 3 questions.
Sir, also there are no books available for all the pending topics. Not for Kal Chakra, not for Saptapangi. Kal Chakra, I think let me check. But I was just checking while you were taking the call for Anekant Sadwad and Saptapangi. No book is
So
available.
we are, yeah, I know this has not been translated. So we are working on some other alternate arrangements, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a reply by tomorrow. So that will partially solve the problem. But the Vijal ji will teach
Yeah,
you.
Kal Chakra is also not there.
Kal Chakra is also not there.
All 3 books are not there.
I think one more is there. No, Aap Kuch Bhi Kaho is also there.
Aap Kuch Bhi is there in English.
Is there in English. Okay. So those are stories. So the 3 questions on Viva, Vijal ji will only give you homework for that. And paper 1, paper 2, concept clarity, that is your homework, and the Gandhar Mulyankan. Okay. Still some are left with, so I would request them to complete as soon as possible, and make it a habit to complete on time, you know. if you keep on dragging every sem, then it does not make sense. Okay. So, okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
sorry, sir. So that I just got reminded that one question I had, you had posted a picture of the page, the kind of soul above. Different. So could you please go over that one more time?
You can ask the question once again because your voice was cracking. So I was not able to understand your question.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Again, it is
Sir,
breaking.
you had posted a photo of. Okay. Sir, you had posted a photo of Shakti, different kinds of Shakti. Could you please just go over those 6 Shaktis again?
So it was there in our textbook also. I'll give you the page number. 1 minute. Question 6-7. 1 minute. It is there in our textbook also. I was, yeah. Question
So
number,
just with an example.
page number 92, 93, question number 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I will send again that, that clip. Okay. That was in Hindi.
Yes, sir. So I have that. I was just wondering, can we have like an example that kind of fits into all the 6 types of Shakti?
Example.
Yes, sir.
So, example, basically those are attributes which are working behind the principle of sequence bound modification. So we can directly apply it in that principle itself. And as you can see, page number, what it was, 90. So you can see the question number 5. Each substance has a power by which it exists with its present modification. Okay. So every substance exists with its present modification. Okay. So if there is a matter substance, it will be in some form. And that form would be the modification. Okay. If your pure gold exists, it will be exist in some form. Either it is a necklace or it is a bangle or it is a ring or it is a simple mass, but it will definitely have some modification. Okay. So that is to say it has its own definite state of being. So this was the Bhav Shakti. Then next, Abhav Shakti. Each substance has such a power also by which no other state except the present modification operates. Okay. So in that modification of mass of gold, supposing the time was ripe to have the shape of a necklace. So the necklace only will be there at that point of time. Okay. Because each substance has a power also by which no other state except the present modification operates. So the present modification is of necklace. So that will only appear. It may not happen that suddenly it will become a ring and then it will become a bangle and then it's not like that. Whatever has to come in the course of modification will only come. So this is Abhav Shakti. Okay. So each substance has every moment a definite modification and not any other on account of the above 2 powers. Now the other 4 powers. Who is the controller? Who fetches the modification at the fixed time and who removes it from that after one samay? Who is the controller for the modification appearing in its own time and disappearing after one samay? Okay, so these are the questions. You have not to worry about it. It would never happen. For every substance has such a power as would eliminate the present modification in the next time unit. So every moment, the previous modification will be automatically wiped out. There is an inbuilt power in the substance. Okay. So the delusion will go away and right belief will come. Okay. delusion will not be remain delusion permanently, but delusion will go away and right belief will come. Okay. So that was the example. This power is called Bhav Abhav Shakti. So what was there is not there in the next moment, that is called Bhav Abhav Shakti. There is still another power by virtue of which the modification of the next time unit will as a rule assume shape. Okay. So there is another modification. Okay. With there is another power called Abhav Shakti. Okay. And because of that power, the modification of the next time unit will as a rule assume shape. Okay. So the next modification, whatever is has to come, it will definitely come. Now the last two, Bhav Abhav Shakti. There is a power in the substance by which a substance containing eternal power of having a modification will positively have that particular modification in its own time unit. And there likewise there is another power by which a substance not containing eternal power of having a modification will never have that modification. So again, these four powers also asserts that whatever has to happen will happen in the right time, in the right manner, with the right instrumental cause. Everything is predetermined, predestined, and things happen accordingly because there is an inbuilt 6 kinds of powers which take care of the principle of sequence bound modification. Okay. Still, I would share the Hindi clip that I shared the other day. You can translate it from there also, whatever you feel better.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yeah, I have shared this. Okay. Okay. We are quite on right time. Okay. So all the best for your exams, and we'll meet after the exams. And in between, if you have any questions, you can ask me personally anytime. Okay. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है। 9 बार नकार मंत्र। बोलो द्वादशंगी जिनवाणी माता की जय।
धन्यवाद जी।